Greetings to all. Guyana is thankful for the opportunity to report on the experiences of including the provisions of the WHO FCTC Article 5.2 in the Tobacco Control Act 2017. As a background to the Tobacco Control Council, I must mention that considerable time and thought was spent on drafting the legislation, well over 5 years. The ratified Tobacco Control Act 2017 is a comprehensive document and provides a clear path to the implementation of Article 5.2. Once passed, the Ministry of Health made tremendous efforts to sensitize the public and stakeholders. This was a priority that paralleled the preparations for the establishment of the Tobacco Control Council. There were circumstances in favor of the establishment of the Council. The legislation itself was very clear on the roles and agencies to be represented on the Council corresponding to key aspects of the legislation. For example, the school health officer from the Ministry of Education was essential for covering secondhand smoking, smoke-free policies, as well as targeting youth. Multisectoral representation was a guiding principle, giving the Council enough separation from any one implementation agency to function independently and transparently. The support and attention of the Minister of Health was also a significant driver. The Council was established in 2019. We were fortunate to bring together a group of very enthusiastic persons to form the Council, despite their inexperience. The willingness to dedicate time to this new task and area in learning was critical. We faced some challenges. The first was the time stipulated in the legislation for the enforcement of the packaging and labeling regulations. The few key persons involved in tobacco control activities were dedicated to successfully finalizing and implementing the regulations. This was completed in 2018. Changes had to be made to other health regulations as well. It was realized that this new activity, tobacco control, was not covered in the scope of work of health inspectors and other key enforcement personnel. So these amendments were necessary to ensure that agencies would have the capacity to fully implement the Act. Another activity that diverted resources was the engagement initiated by the tobacco industry seeking information about the Act and in an attempt to negotiate the conditions set forth in the Act. Several interactions with the tobacco industry were necessary during this period, transparency being a priority.
My name is Mahadi Ramjag, manager of the Excise Stamps and Environmental Levy section of Customs, Excise and Trade Administration of the Guyana Revenue Authority. I am a member of the Tobacco Control Council representing the Customs, Excise and Trade operations. During the initial period of the operation of the council, some importers had claims of being unaware of the fundamental requirements of the Tobacco Act of 2017. In some areas, consignments of tobacco products were not even given approval by the council for importation of same, as a result of non-compliance with the Tobacco Act. With the diverse skill set of the council and a proactive approach coupled with effective feedback, created an environment for supportive communication with the importers. Consequently, importers began to demonstrate much more understanding of the Act by complying with the requisite guidelines pertaining to the importation of tobacco products according to the Act.
Significant capacity building had to be done with the new members of the Council and enforcement agencies. Expertise was sought through international collaborations, and extensive training was done to ensure persons were comfortable and competent in their roles. It took some time for the Council to coordinate their work and a financing mechanism, as well as defining the roles of each enforcement agency. Example, the Food and Drug Authorities, the Guyana Revenue Authority, the Guyana National Bureau of Standards. The Secretariat of the Council lies with the Ministry of Health. Finally, I wish to highlight 3 key activities that we felt were important in establishing the Council. First, formal commitment was sought from the various member agencies regarding their participation on the Council. Secondly, A terms of reference document was negotiated and developed through consultation with member agencies. Clear duties and objectives are described in the terms of reference. And thirdly, a conflict of interest statement was drafted for each council member. The year 2020 brought inevitable challenges with the work of the council. The challenges of 2020, including COVID-19 and a change in government, precipitated movements of key stakeholders and resource persons within government agencies. One of the lessons we learn here is the need for extensive and ongoing capacity building within the implementation agencies so that movements of key persons do not create gaps which are difficult to fill. Moving forward, as we regroup, this will be a priority.